Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of Walking on Water. I can't believe how fast these weeks are going. But Caleb's actually not with me for this episode. We're actually going to be doing something a little bit different to what we've been doing on our last episodes, something that's a bit outside of my comfort zone. Today I'm actually going to be sharing my testimony with you guys. So something that I've actually never done in front of YouTube or over my Instagram. And it's something that I've never really shared with some of my friends either. So this is really nerve-wracking for me, but I'm excited to let you guys know more about me. So this little episode is going to be about just my life and some of the struggles I've been through, and then how I've met God, which is awesome. So I'm so excited to share that with you guys. So I've grown up on the Gold Coast my whole life. So I'm in Australia. It's an amazing country, so beautiful here. We are so blessed. And I'm still living on the Gold Coast, lived here my whole life. I'm 18 years old. I'm actually 19 on Friday, which is really exciting. And I graduated school about a year and a bit ago now, nearly 2 years. Maybe it is 2 years, I don't know. I lose count. But anyways, I graduated in 2018. I've grown up in a Christian family my whole life. Parents are amazing Christians, so like the biggest role models in my life. And I have 2 younger sisters and an older brother who are all really annoying. Nah, I'm joking. They're all really cool. They can be annoying, but they're all amazing. Basically, I went to church every Sunday when I was younger, grew up in church, went to kids' church, had heaps of fun, was like the best. Yeah, I grew up in a Christian home, everything was fine. I remember telling my dad, right, I told him when I was younger, I was like, Dad, I'm never gonna drink and do that bad stuff and, you know, party and all that. I don't think I would ever do that. And I was like, I'd never get tattoos. Now I got tattoos. Like, I just remember telling him, like, I would never do that. Like, that's just not who I am. I just don't see anything good in it. Anyways, I was in grade 10. I had an amazing bunch of friends, was just surfers. We were at a pretty like surfy school because everyone on the Gold Coast surfs, I swear. But yeah, we had a good group of friends. You know, stuff happened a little bit in grade 10 and our group kind of split off, and I ended up, you know, making friends with a group of other girls who were into drinking, which is fine, you know, but it was grade 10, I was young. So yeah, I was, you know, in this different group of friends who liked drinking. So I started becoming this person that I just said to my dad I would never become, and I started drinking and making bad decisions. I was lying to my parents every weekend. I would sneak out of the house. I just lied to my parents because I thought that they wouldn't, you know, let me go to parties or whatever, and I felt so bad lying to my parents because they just, like, they're amazing and they just wanted the best for me, and I was just lying to them just to go drinking. Started drinking, and I think it was by the end of the grade 10, I was drinking like every weekend with my friends. Still lying to my parents, didn't tell them where I was going, literally just said I was going for a sleepover, but I would go out to a party or something. And by the end of grade 11, drinking that whole year, going to parties, you know, I ended up stopping going to church from grade 10. I just felt, not that I didn't belong, but just I didn't know my purpose yet, and I didn't, you know God the way I do now, but I didn't, you know, understand Him the way other people around me did. I was just like, what is happening? Like, I don't understand this. And so I went the whole of grade 10 not going to church. Grade 11, didn't really go to church either. Grade 12, I don't think I went to church for quite a while. Like, throughout those years, I didn't go to church. My life started kind of going downhill a bit. I started, you know, I was drinking every weekend. I was hanging out with the wrong sort of people, you know, that didn't influence me in a good way. I just ended up being at this point where I felt so lost, but I just kept going down that path. I was like, this is fun, you know, drinking's fun. You know, I like doing that. So I literally just did that every weekend. Got to the end of grade 12 and still going out to parties. I was still surfing and everything throughout this time. Loved surfing, did competitions. Yeah, I loved it so much. And it was so much fun competing. but I still had this desire to go out drinking and partying, you know, do what the people around me were doing. And I feel like that's, yeah, where you've got to be careful is with staying true to who you are and what you believe. And I definitely got caught up in the things of this world and going out drinking. And I got to the end of grade 12 and graduated and everything. To Bali that year with my friend. It was so much fun. We literally just surfed, tanned. I was actually 17 at the time. This was a few weeks before my 18th birthday. We had an amazing time over there, but there was a few things that happened that really shook us both. For me, to the point of like, you know, something needs to change. So we were over in Bali and we actually got into a moped accident, which was super scary because we're by ourselves and we're like, if we get hurt, like there's no real hospitals here. We're on like another island next to Bali and like there, I don't know, I'd be so scared if anything bad happened to me in Bali. We got in the moped accident and we were so shaken from that because we were like, didn't have our parents with us. I was 17, she was 18. And a few days later, we were leaving the island to go back to the mainland, and we had to catch a speedboat back over, and our speedboat actually crashed on the way back, and crashed into like a parked boat, and it was the scariest thing that I have ever experienced. Looking back now, we kind of have a bit of a laugh about it because it's just like, what are the chances you are in a boat crash? People on that boat got really, really hurt. Like I remember it being on the news and everything over there. It was pretty hectic, and yeah, I just remember feeling so protected while we were on the boat. My friend and I didn't get hurt, which, you know, to this day I know God was watching over us and keeping us safe over that trip. It was just like a crazy experience that kind of shook me a bit, and I think that's something that kind of was a turning point a little bit to where I am now. But yeah, we came back to Australia. We were like, oh my goodness, we are back. Like, oh, the best feeling when we got back after that trip. Like, it was an amazing trip, so fun, best memories. And like, we look back at those times and just laugh. But yeah, it's crazy experience. And it was my 18th, the weekend coming. And that weekend, I had a party at my house. We were drinking, you know, I drank way too much. And again, I made stupid decisions while I was drinking. I ended up hurting people that, you know, I really cared about, and, you know, I hurt people in my family. I hurt people that were family friends, and that at that point I just was looking at myself and going, who even are you even? Like, this is not who you are. Always just remembered telling my dad that I would never be that person. And yeah, so my 18th was over. Like, really bad stuff happened. I hurt people, and yeah, it just sucked. Like, it just was the worst time, hey, for me. That was like the worst period of my life that I've had, and I just felt really alone at that time. It just felt like something was missing from my life. I felt like there was this void inside of me that was just needed to be filled, but I couldn't fill it with anything that I was doing. And you know, I kept drinking, kept making bad decisions, kept hurting people after that. And then I got to the point where I had to make a decision. I did not like who I was as a person. I didn't like what I was doing. I didn't enjoy drinking, but I still did it. I got to the point where I had to choose which path I should go down. And, you know, one of them was would bring fruit into my life, and I would, you know, have purpose and meaning. And the other, I would go down a road of destruction and, you know, drinking every weekend, you know, living the same life, that repetitive life every weekend, doing the same thing. At the time that I was making kind of that decision, my mum came up to me and was like, Eden, there's this Hillsong conference in Sydney next week. Do you want to go? It's like this massive church conference in Sydney, and yeah, it's amazing. I was like, you know what? I'm keen. Like, I've always wanted to go to Hillsong conference. Let's go. I remember standing in worship, and I remember just feeling this, you know, I was closing my eyes. I felt just this freedom and this peace and this joy that came from nowhere inside of me. I felt like this void was filling up, and you know, that void that I'd had for like 2 years was starting to fill up, and I was starting to have, you know, feel this joy that I hadn't felt in forever, and that this peace that I just can't even explain. At that point on, I had to make a decision which path I should go down, and I remember just being like, that's it, I am following this path of just, you know, fruit and purpose and life and freedom, and I'm going to choose to follow God and put, you know, all my trust in Him again. I just remember just praying and asking God to forgive me for everything, all the people I've hurt, and I just remember just feeling so free and just like at peace. You know, I'd had this pain and hurt inside of me for so long, and I just felt none of that. I felt like peace and joy had just overcome all of that inside of me, all of that hurt and pain that I'd been building up. You know, I've been just drinking away my hurt and my pain. I ended up coming back from Sydney, and I decided to go down this path of righteousness and following God, and I ended up going to church every Sunday. I started reading the Bible. I just felt so, I don't know, I just felt like joyful and at peace, and like, this is where I want to be. And this time, this is when my boyfriend now, Caleb, this is when we met. I had been praying all year. I never had a boyfriend, right? These whole years, my friends all had boyfriends throughout high school, and I was the only one who didn't get a boyfriend, which now I know why I didn't, but at the time I was like, this sucks, I want a boyfriend, what is happening? Like, what, God, what are you doing to me? Like, where are the boys? You know, obviously that didn't happen for a reason, because now I have met Caleb. We met at work, we worked together, which is awesome. We just really got along, and as you know, I was praying that whole year for that guy, that perfect guy that was going to be just amazing for me. Surfer, you know, loves God, you know, was on fire for God, and you know, God showed up in that, and He answered those prayers, and Caleb came along and started going to church with him. Yeah, I just felt so at home there. I was like, this is it. I am where I want to be. I've got an amazing boyfriend who's encouraging me and lifting me up as a person, and you know, has all the same dreams, same goals, the same purpose. We felt like we just, you know, everything was just right, and we ended up dating, and now we are still dating, 8 months, and yeah, we just felt like it was right, and I just felt so joyful, and here I am today, just filled with this joy and this peace and this purpose. Like, my whole life is purpose driven, you know, that God has this plan, this amazing plan set out for me, and all along He has been there waiting for me to just turn around and, you know, let those things that were holding on to me, those things that are so deceiving, like drinking and partying, you know, you just don't fill that void with that stuff. And I turned around, and God was just there for me through it all. He was there. He was the one protecting me, looking after me, and helping me make these decisions. And now I just, yeah, I'm so blessed. I'm in an amazing Connect group, so I get to hang out with these girls from church every Wednesday. Obviously with coronavirus, it's been pretty hectic. We haven't been able to see each other, but yeah, we're back again at Connect, and oh, it is an amazing feeling just being around people with the same positive attitudes towards life, and you know, who's are purpose-filled and who are lifting you up as a person. It is so important. I just want to encourage you guys as well that I am just one of many people that have had this experience and this encounter with God. You can experience it too. It is literally free. It does not come of cost. God is literally wanting you to just turn around and give Him everything, and He is there. So stoked that I was able to share with you guys my testimony, because yeah, it's been an incredible journey, and just to see from last year where I was and to now, it's just an amazing, you know, transformation and growth has come from this year, and I just feel so at peace every day, and I just walk in freedom every day, and I can't think of anything better than that. And nothing in this world, drinking, partying, could fill that void but God. And now that is filled, and I am just living a life full of purpose, and I just can't wait to see what God has planned for Kaleb and I, and for this channel, and for all of you guys. Please message me if you guys are interested in hearing more, or if you guys want to know more about this God that I'm talking about. I'm so stoked that you guys got to listen to my testimony, and I hope that it encouraged you in some way. Hope you all have an amazing and blessed rest of your week and an amazing weekend. Love you all.